Sounds like Atari music.
That sounds like Atari music. Sounds like yodeling.
Can you turn that a little this way so we can see the... Arigato gozaimasu.
Incredible. That's Funky Town.
Wish a ghost would fuck with me. I would beat its ass. Incorporeal who? Bitch, come here. Yeah! I'd beat Casper's ass. Cool.
That's me laughing.
He's a pussy. He doesn't count.
Nice guys. Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh boy.
The opening of the mouth mainly just makes it louder.
Yeah, I got you. I made a move.
Incredible.
It's like an Atari sound effect maker. I like it. We need to get more so we can do a band.
It's Harry Potter. This isn't the cold open, by the way. We're cutting all of this. Good.
Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
Welcome to Crossing the Line, a fanfiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fanfiction for your listening pleasure.
And that's right. Post 4th of July, Season 3, I'm bringing back the questions at the
Except
beginning
for
of
last
the
episode.
Except for last episode. I said after 4th of July. Oh, never mind. After the show after the 4th of July, I'm bringing back at the end of July. We're recording this, but I guess it won't release. Anyways, I'm bringing back the question. I had another question, but I've been inspired to think of a new question instantaneously just now, which is the best kind.
Oh no.
So, Blue Breed, my question for you today is...
The hentai artist, by the way, if you didn't know, this is him, the real one.
Whoa.
Draw a boob right now and prove it to him.
Draw fan art, send it to his don't look up his characters first, just draw fan art of whatever you want, tag him.
Draw fan art of what you think he looks like based on his voice.
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
Give him a cool line of dialogue so they can animate it.
Animate a 30-second short.
Animate!
In-go
On
animate.
my phone!
No, the fans.
Uh-oh.
I wanted you to give them a thing, give them a line so they can animate you saying it based on what they think you look like.
Oh, let's see here. I
Your
want you.
question's coming. Wait your turn.
I'll animate mine too.
We're gonna bully her, you know what I mean?
Okay. That's gonna be really bad. But okay.
It's okay.
They're gonna draw your interpretation next to like Belle Delphine or something.
They're gonna draw you as a Gairu.
Gyaru.
Whatever.
A Guy Fieri.
He's orange.
That would be horrible. I don't like thinking of him with fucking overly tan skin and white lips.
And a lot of cheetah print.
He has no roof on his car. His whole skin is already burned. All of his skin. Anyways, my question for you today
Alright.
is, say 10 years from now, you're teaching at a prestigious art high school, and it's Parent-Teacher Day for 9th graders, let's say, or let's say seniors. I don't know why. Do parents still come when you're like that old? I don't know.
It depends.
My parents lost interest in school when I was in like 7th grade, I gotta say. But anyways, Parent-Teacher Day. The child is of age, and the parents come to meet you and have a conference. They interrupt you and you start talking to say hello. You say, hello, and they say, hey, how's my child doing in school? And you both sit down and you say, oh, she's doing great. I've taught her a lot. And then they show you some of her art and they're like, yeah, we agree. This is beautiful. You're doing a great job. What say you strike us a deal? And you say, okay, what kind of deal? And they pull you outside into the hallway and tell the daughter to wait inside. And they pull a gun and they put it to your stomach and they say, will you teach my daughter privately? And you're like, okay, what do you mean privately? And they're like, we want her to stay with you for the rest of this school year, and you'll have to be her mentor at all hours of the day and live with her, and we'll kill you if you don't do it.
It's not really a question at that point.
And you get nothing in return. We just need you to do this. What do you say?
Yes, I don't want to die.
What do you think the daughter's thinking outside in the
I'll be
room?
the daughter.
Okay. You go back inside, both of you.
I wonder what my parents are talking about with the teacher, Mr. Breed.
And they say, honey, or they say, teacher, go ahead and tell them what we told you. Tell her what we told you.
I'm kicking my feet. Oh, I can't say your real name. You get mad at me.
It's just funny. It's a fucking anti-setup almost. Mr. Breed.
His doctor.
So the parents say, all right, Mr. Breed, tell her the deal that we agreed on, that you brought up and not us.
All right, now, little missy, you have to... the pout lip. Fucking, you are going to stay with me, and I'm going to teach you the ways of ass. And if I
already have an ass.
If I don't, shut up. If I don't, I am going to die. So I need you to learn really goodly, okay?
I mean, I'll try, but I
Bet
can't.
you are going to.
The parents are like, wow, you've taken control of the situation. We didn't say anything about ass. We just meant like art, like in general.
Ass.
I know how to draw the cool ass.
You're fired.
Parents nod their head in approval. Teaching them good? Teaching them good?
Do it right now on the wall as practice.
Okay.
You're suspended.
And you over here, and then you crown it and bottom it.
I only want you to do one, not five.
Parents are clapping. This is going great. We're so glad you agreed to this. Now, honey, we've changed the locks. Have a good rest of your life until you graduate. You leave.
Rest of her life? I thought it was just until she was done with art.
The parents stick their gun to your gut really quick. They say, listen, we agreed.
I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it again.
Well, little missy, it appears we live together now.
You got Fruity Pebbles?
You will eat, crave, and like it.
Fruity Pebbles?
Crave.
Fuck you! I'm getting out of here!
In time you will crave.
A bad-mannered teen.
This is bullshit!
And that's all the food I have at the house. In the leftover containers. Crave. In my cereal boxes, even boxes labeled as other cereals.
You're a fucking psychopath. I don't want anything to do with you.
Crave.
Honey, I'm so glad we left that daughter of ours.
The water faucet.
I'm sure she'll come back next year as a grown person.
You won't believe this. Crave.
I'm gonna go get fucked.
Did I mention the crave that is also in my refrigerator freezer and the ice dispenser?
I want a new question.
Isn't Crave the... Yeah, you think? Isn't Crave the one that has, like, the bits of, like, chocolate in it and
Yeah,
stuff?
it's the cereal that's, like, filled with
Yeah,
chocolate.
and the commercials, they have the little Crave pieces come and eat each other.
Yosh.
But it's not for babies. That much is clear.
Yeah.
You want Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Get the fuck out of here, baby. We're eating Crave.
We're eating Crave.
Sponsored by Crave.
I can snack on that shit. That's just decent.
Yeah, I don't think I've had it.
It's pretty decent. Alright, so being as the question went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, you're fucking 2 paragraphs of setup based on a thing we just watched. Should have left it at just YouTubers.
Put on Linkara.
We watch awful stuff before we record podcasts, and it always gives us bad energy.
Okay, Steven, new question. What if you were living a successful life with 300,000 Twitter followers and 50,000 followers on Patreon, all donating $5 a month, resulting in a lot of money.
And a lot of taxes.
And a lot of taxes. When one day, a YouTuber with 0 subscribers made a video called Reviewing Blue Breed, and suddenly he blew up. He got 600,000 views on his video, and he canceled you by saying how bad your art was. He had three different sections to review your art criteria on. One was coloring. He said the colors were bland and inspired by Crayola. 2 was...
He said the characters of color you draw were 1 pigment off from what they're supposed to be.
That is something they do.
2, he reviewed your art and criteria of story. He said every story ends with fucking, and he said that's a bad way to end your story. It doesn't count as a full story arc. And 3, he said after recently watching the new video series by Rich Alvarez, your videos, your comics paled in comparison. And he's experienced true art, and everyone should subscribe to Rich Alvarez instead, and he experiences a renaissance on his YouTube channel.
And number 4, he found your artwork even though he was only 16.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
And everyone believed him. Everyone took it for his gospel.
Everyone agreed with him without actually looking at your Twitter page, and just made the trending hashtag Blue Breed is canceled, and this boy's YouTube channel got 500,000 subscribers, and he became famous.
Yeah, what do you tweet out to cool the flames?
What is your first response to him as a YouTuber?
Do you make a reaction video?
Do you react to his video?
I don't fucking react. I get really fucking depressed. Some little goblin bastard came up, looked at my comic, and was like, boo.
He said it took Blue Breed 2 Halloweens to finish his Halloween comic. What the fuck?
One of his points is that my colors are inspired by Crayola.
I've seen those crayons before.
My mom could color a better picture of an ass.
Next day, a famous YouTuber slides into your DMs and says they want to make a documentary about the downfall of Blue Breed. What do you do?
Alright, I might do that, just so I can slander the fuck out of that kid.
You make a 3-hour-long reaction video.
I do.
You make a video where you react to every single one of his videos.
I dox, swat, and poison him in the same video.
Spank and kill.
There you go.
You go back and forth making YouTube videos, just nitpicking each other indefinitely. And he has like a couple hundred Twitter followers, and you have like 80,000. You're just bullying the shit out of him.
It just turns into fucking Keemstar versus H3, both me and this fucking brat.
Exactly.
With you God. And a nobody.
It's a completely one-sided argument.
This kid liked a tweet by Joey's World Tour, and I do not like Joey's World Tour.
He's a fascist and a pig. There, I said it.
He likes his own tweets. That means that this man is dumb.
It's true. He does like his own tweets, no matter how political and racist they are.
It's actually true. Joey's World Tour likes his fucking own tweets, and a lot of them are just his political views.
Someone buy Joey's World Tour cameo.
Okay,
that made you sick to think of giving Joey money.
It's true. It exhaled all the oxygen of my lungs instantly.
I'll ask one of my friends to buy a friggin' cameo for me and have him read one of my favorite political tweets from him where he calls someone a communist.
Somebody buy a cameo and just make him make all the vowel and other sounds so you can vocoder him to say whatever you want.
Make him read one of those like quick brown fox sentences.
Yeah. This is a video of him going ah, ooh, ee, ah, oh.
It gotta be more deceptive than that. It's gotta be like the quick brown fox jumped over the whatever, so it has like all the sound effects.
Just
you can
have him read all the Morshu lines. Oh, that's been figured out already.
Holy
have him dress up like Morshu and then move around. Bombs, rope, lamp oil. You want it? It's yours, my friend. But only if you have enough rupees. He's moving around, getting really close to the camera.
He's got a fucking packet of ketchup in his fingers.
Imagine him like getting closer and farther away to the camera, shifting his weight around.
His car rocking. Sorry, Blueberry. Come back when you're little.
Hungrier.
Hungry.
Welcome to the South Park episode. That really derailed.
We had ourselves a time.
I can't believe you brought back the question gag for this.
It all worked out. It was good in the end.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
When's the last time you guys watched an episode of South Park?
The last one I watched was like last year's season when they did a school shooting episode.
Oh.
Yeah, it just makes fun of normalizing school shootings.
Oh, okay.
The last one I watched, it must have been some controversial one. I usually poke in to watch something if it's received a lot of attention, but it's been years for South Park, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely watched more of the older seasons. I never had cable, so I would just watch stuff on the internet that I would see gaining popularity at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much stopped watching it the second I didn't have cable anymore, which has been over 2 years at this point.
What's everybody's favorite episode of South Park?
Let's see here.
I'm always partial to like the weapon episode where they turn into anime characters.
Classic.
That is good.
I fondly remember the Guitar Hero one and the World of Warcraft ones in particular.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the World of Warcraft one is good.
Oh yeah.
Other than the horrible shitting scene.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Oh god. Let's see, that one, and also the one where Stan's dad buys a Blockbuster.
That was a good one. That was like a later
good.
season too.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a really good parody of The Shining, but him just lumbering around the Blockbuster because everybody uses streaming services.
Everyone's out watching the fireworks and they're just like, oh, I got Netflix. Why would I need a Blockbuster?
Mm-hmm. He gets really angry, caught in the cold.
Investing in a dying business.
Just because it's so cheap. Oh, I like the baseball one too, mainly because Stan's dad always makes a point to get in a fight at the baseball games.
I played the RPG too, the first one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
On I think I
Did you like
I
it?
rented it or torrented it or something.
Don't say that.
I mean, found it on the street. Anyways, I played a lot of it. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I like RPGs that are like, you get to like shuffle around your gear and like experiment with that.
Yeah.
And it was fun to like go all the Easter eggs and stuff. It's fine. I never beat it, but
I played the 64 game a lot as a kid. It's not very good, but I played it a lot.
Which one?
Just South Park. It's the FPS.
The snowball fight one,
Mhm.
where you throw snowballs at turkeys, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Let's see here. Oh, another good one. Another good episode. Oh, shit. I like immediately lost it.
I watched the superhero trilogy or whatever those episodes were.
Oh, yeah, that one's good.
I don't know if it was a trilogy, but I watched those as they came out because I did have cable for a brief amount of time. I'd stay up really late and watch them when my parents weren't looking.
Oh, yeah, it's the one where friggin' Wendy and Cartman fight, and Wendy just kicks the shit out of him. That one was good.
Mm-hmm.
He's like trying to avoid her all day, trying to make up an excuse to not get in the fight, then he just ends up getting his fucking shit kicked in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like picking on her because he doesn't think a woman could fight back.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, okay, let's fight. And he's like, what? So he spends the whole episode like pleading with her, begging her not to fight him, but also not to make it public because he doesn't want his cred to get lost.
I like after the friggin' fight, he's like standing in a pool of his own blood, and everyone's looking at him. He's like, you guys don't think I'm cool anymore. And they're like, not really. This doesn't affect us. Our opinion of you can't really get any lower.
And I just had one and I lost it. What was it? God, there's so many episodes of that show. Like the last time I remember South Park being new was the whole like presidential campaign where they turned Mr. Mackey into not Mr. Mackey, Mr. Garrison into Trump basically. That was the last thing I remember seeing like new South Park. Who knows what they've been doing since then.
Okay, and that being said, I may not do the voices for a lot of characters, in part because I don't remember everybody's names and what they sound like, but
it'd be really grating to do all the South Park characters, to be fair.
Yeah.
A lot of them sound pretty similar except for Cartman.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
Everybody do their best Cartman impression. A high-pitched siren.
What should I say?
That's where he gets the fucking wind punched at him by Wendy.
His classic catchphrase, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
A little deeper than I intended.
Pretty good all around.
Incredible.
It's epic.
Fanfiction time.
Okay, my story starts. Stan shifted uncomfortably from his spot beside the bus sign. Have you guys ever heard of an anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion? He asked. Huh? Kyle said, leaning forward to look past Cartman and his friend.
The fuck is Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Cartman spat, scrunching up his nose in disgust. Stan fidgeted again.
Non-nose.
It's really good, dude. I watched like 10 episodes on YouTube last night. Kenny mumbled something from the far right and Stan frowned. No, dude, fuck off. They're not cartoons, they're anime. There's a difference. Cartman sighed.
Fine, asshole. Let's go watch your shitty baby cartoon.
Fuck off, dude. It's anime. It's not for babies. They all ducked out before the bus arrived. Stan shoved the door to his house open, and almost immediately the foyer was littered with teenagers' backpacks. My folks aren't home today, Stan said coolly. They're out of town, getting Shelly set up in college and everything. They probably won't be back till tomorrow.
Sweet.
Cartman rolled. Fuck yeah, dude, Kyle commented, shoving his hands into his pockets. Go put on your show, dude. I'm gonna go raid your fridge. Got it, Stan said before tromping over to his laptop. Balanced precariously on the edge of the couch where he had left it, Cartman took his usual place in the single chair and landed heavily with a screech of the springs. Kenny was far more polite and sat delicately on his usual side of the couch, far from where Kyle and Stan sat, far too comfortable with each other for the comfort of their friends. Finally, once the HDMI cable was connected and the show began, Stan flopped down beside his super best friend and a fresh bowl of popcorn. Don't worry, you guys, it's sick as hell, I promise. Cartman grunted enthusiastically. Kenny mumbled with encouragement, and Kyle shushed him.
Cartman is gonna be so critical of this anime.
He's gonna be scared.
He's gonna call Shinji a little baby. 15 hours later, the red waves from the end of Evangelion faded out and the credits rolled. There was a full minute of silence.
15 hours, they just marathoned all of it.
Yeah. Jesus fuck, dude, what's wrong with you? Cartman finally yelled. But it was too much for Stan, who just started crying. Holy shit, dude. I thought you said that show was good. Kyle stammered. That was pretty fucked up, dude. Fuck you, Kyle. That's my line. Stan huffed and puffed through sobs. Oh, seriously, dude. That was sick. What the fuck? Oh, dude, that shit was so fucked up it killed Kenny. I'm a bastard. Stan walked and threw his face into the pillow.
I'm a bastard? Is that what he said?
Yeah. Fuck, no, that's my... no, fuck, never mind, Kyle sighed. Jesus fuck, Stan, you're like the worst... Jesus fuck, Stan, you're like the worst cartoons, Cartman spat and stood up. Screw this, screw you guys, I'm going home. I'm gonna watch Red Racer. Stan was unable to respond when Cartman left, and Kyle was quick to follow, leaving a completely horrified Stan to deal with the corpse laying on his couch.
Jesus.
Corpse.
Nah, Stan-kun, wake up, came a voice from the hall.
Oh no.
Stan sat up with a jolt. It took him a moment to place the language, but it was definitely Japanese. He hadn't used his Japanese since he was in 3rd grade, but it came back to him more easily than he expected.
Oh.
He pulled the thin blanket off of him for not his comforter, to his confusion, and stood up. He ran his fingers over the thin paper wall.
Stan's gonna check off to Asuka.
He started, but the door was suddenly flung open by a tall woman in long purple hair who was grinning from ear to ear. Stan-kun, she said. You don't want to be late for your first day of nerve training, do you? She said, wagging her finger.
Nerve training.
Stan gasped. Nerve is the name of the big robot company in Neon Genesis.
I thought they were training his brain.
I assumed you said nerve, but then I thought it said nerf.
Your nerve training.
It's nerf or nothing, Stan-kun.
It's just a giant nerf fucking Evangelion fight. Nerf Max.
Oh my god, he yelled in English. You couldn't have at least put me in the fucking dub? He screamed. And Masato took a confused step back. Well, you just get dressed and go get the others, she said nervously, before she scooted away down the hall. I fucking like Spike Spencer's performance, okay? Stan continued. He was fucking iconic, okay? That's Shinji.
I know.
Look up Spike Spencer, he's funny.
Spike Spiegel.
Down the hall, Masato was knocking on Kyle's door. Masato is the older, purple-haired woman. Kyle shifted in his bed, woke with a groan of confusion. Huh? What's going on? He mumbled, just as Masato threw his door open.
Do you think the writer thought of this in Ava art style or South Park art style?
I like to imagine... I mean, they're both 2D. I like to imagine the characters are South Park style, but it's just on top of the 2D show.
That's what I was thinking too.
You don't think it's a paper cutout of Misato? Hopping around?
That'd be funny, but hard to animate her going down a hallway.
No, they just hop her down and make her a little smaller.
It's Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Let's see.
Have we talked about Carl's really complex walk cycle on the show? I think we have.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Some Japanese letters. Kyle balked at her. Excuse me? She frowned at him, then tilted her head to the side. Then more Japanese letters. What? Kyle cried, standing up and dropping the covers all around him.
Cried.
Stan appeared behind her at the door. Holy shit, dude, he laughed. You don't speak Japanese? Dude, I barely spoke that shit when I was 8. I was fucking faking it. Literally, who gives a shit about fucking Chinko Pokemon? Kyle yelled, ripping a clock radio out of the wall and throwing it at Stan, who dodged it nimbly.
Jeez.
Damn.
It's a Neon Genesis reference, I think.
Okay.
Holy shit, dude.
Is this
Fuck
whole
did I do that
story
for?
gonna be you saying that's a Neon Genesis reference?
I mean, I'll hope to clarify something. Some things. It's just like a scene they copied. It's probably an anime thing, Stan commented before nudging Masato with his elbow. Masato nodded. Okay, Kyle-kun, it's time for your first day at Nerves. You better get dressed quick. With that, she slammed the paper door shut and moved down the hall to Cartman's room.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Eric-kun, Masato said, pulling the door open gently. Are you ready for your first day at Nerve? Shut the fuck up, ma'am. I'm trying to sleep. Oh, no, you don't, mister, Masato cried, slamming the door open. You better get up right now or you'll be late. You have your first sync test today. Cartman waved his arm at her, but she ripped the sheet off the bed, flinging him onto the floor in a flurry of curses. Fuck yeah! You're not my mom! Cartman said, confused. My mom doesn't even speak Moonspeak. I don't think.
I don't think.
Nope, probably not, kiddo, Masato says, tapping her hip as Cartman pulled himself to his feet. Wait a second! You're that bitch from that shitty cartoon Stan made me watch last night! Cartman yelled, as Masato shushed him loudly. Shh! Be polite, Eric-kun. You gotta meet Commander Ikari today, so try and keep your mouth clean, would ya? She steps out of the room as Cartman kicks the bedpost and swears. Kenny rolls over at the knock of his door. Kenny-chan, Masato says,
Ooh.
and he looks up blearily at her peeking in through the door. Are you speaking Japanese? He mumbles brightly through his hood, and she nods with a laugh.
You have to read Kenny's lines like you would wearing a hood.
Are you speaking Japanese? He mumbles brightly through his hood, and she nods with a laugh. Yes, Kenny-chan. You're still in Japan. You all got in last night. You're the new pilots. That's so fucked up.
That is.
These actual children
Jesus Christ.
in 4th grade.
Fuck yeah! Kenny yelled, jumping out of bed. I need a fucking dress, Masato laughed. Well, Asuka-kun has probably had some, but I don't know how excited she'll be to share, so I'm leaving that battle to you. If you're gonna do it, though, do it quick. We gotta leave soon. Oh. Kenny said I need a fucking dress, but it said Masato said it, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
She shut the door, but Kenny followed her out immediately to see Asuka standing over Shinji in the kitchen as he cooked. Shinji is also here? What? Why are they here too then?
Oh
They
no.
need extra recruits.
Okay.
You alright?
That is really fucked up. Like, the fucking kids they use for the mechs are like young, but Jesus Christ.
It destroys their mental mind and their body mind.
They've been through worse.
Body mind.
Cartman got anally probed, remember?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna top that.
Carmen's gonna make chili out of one of the fucking enemies.
Out of an angel.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. So Asuka's in the kitchen yelling at Shinji anyways, which is really funny. Hurry up, stupid Shinji! I'm not missing lunch today because you overslept! Asuka-kun, I didn't oversleep. I have to make 4 more lunches today. She
That
scoffs
is Shinji.
loudly. That's no excuse! You should have gotten up even earlier then! Kenny tugged on her sleeve. Are you Asuka-kun? He asked politely, and she frowned. Which one are you, anyway, Eric? Kenny shook his head. No, Asuka-kun, my name's Kenny. You sure look pretty, he added, blinking up at her, and she blushed, turning away. Huh, yeah, well, I always do. So, you shouldn't be thinking of me like that. You're just a kid, Kenny. I think we can be friends, Kenny said, and Asuka snorted again with a huff. I didn't pack so good. It looks like I was just wondering if I could borrow a girl's school uniform. A girl? She said, surprised. Why do you want a girl's school uniform? Because they're cuter, he said simply.
Kenny's pretty cool.
Asuka stared at him for a moment before she noticed Shinji, who had turned around to balk. She grinned. Of course you can, Kenny-kun, she said, sidestepping him purposefully towards her quarters. I know it probably won't fit you very well, especially around the chest, so you won't look nearly as cute as me, but you'll still be a heck of a lot cuter than Wonder Girl, she said.
Wow.
And Kenny grinned beneath his hood, before finally turning to Shinji. Shinji-san, you're burning the Karakage, Kenny pointed out, and Shinji turned back to the pan with a yelp. Huh.
You like Kenny?
I like how he's like the most confident character in this world so far.
Yeah.
Kyle sat in the plug nervously, twiddling his thumbs together. He hoped he had a good score, and soon enough, him and his old friends were allowed to leave. Him and his old and new friends were allowed to leave. Japanese letters. Masato congratulated, and Kyle stared at her helplessly.
Wait, is it? Oh, it's actually just Japanese letters.
Yeah, just
Kyle-
kanji.
Kyle can't speak Japanese, so they represented his useless language by Japanese for some reason.
That's pretty cool. You can't speak Japanese?
Not well enough to just speak it or read it. I know basic words, I guess, and
It's fine.
phrases.
It's a little cringe, but okay.
Hold on, let me just learn the language quick.
You can just plug into Google Translate text-to-speech.
Just keep stopping the thing for like 2 minutes so you can copy and paste and post it into Google.
Hold on, give me a second.
Alright. You need to step off.
What?
Kyle spoke some foreign words and Masato congratulated him. She said you did better than us, Kenny mumbled through his hood as he patted down the delicate folds of his dress. Wearing a dress and a hood. Kenny, ask her what I'm supposed to do about that, Kyle said, and Kenny frowned. Princess Kenny, he said, then paused. Princess Kenny-sama, to you, Kyle. He, no, sorry, she nodded. Kenny nodded at the narrator. Pleased. Kyle ignored this motion.
Kenny looked right at you.
Yeah. Kyle ignored this motion as he had no metaphysical concept of the narrator, and while neither did Princess Kenny-sama, the narrator in fact narrated her acknowledging the narrator, and thus the narrator was acknowledged. Kenny turned to Masato to translate, but she waved a hand at him. Oh, of course I speak English. Not as good as you, of course, she said with a giggle. Kyle-kun, you did so good today. Your scores are the best, and we want to put you and your friends in a 4-person unit. Unit 06, with you as the leader. So it's like a Sentai mech is what you're telling me.
Oh god.
At that, Princess Kenny-sama suddenly perked up. More Japanese letters. She cried, and Masato shushed her. Eh? Kyle stammered. I'm the goddamn princess! I should be the fucking captain! Princess Kenny-sama grumbled unhappily, but Masato shushed her again. Shush. Good. You'll accept the position of head pilot then, Kyle-kun. Kyle nodded with a gulp. Sure, I guess so. The 7 of them sat at a haphazard shape in the Nerve cafeteria. 3 of the Colorado boys were having difficulty using chopsticks, and Cartman's whining eventually netted him a fork. Though Stan and Kyle were persevered, despite the rumblings in their tummies. Princess Kenny, of course, had no problem. I hope so, too.
He's gonna be an angel.
Hello there, children. He comes down from the heavens.
Kyle tapped the white soles of his Converse against the laminate flooring before he finally looked up. So, Shinji.
Oh, God.
So,
How long have you been a pilot? Japanese letters, Shinji said, confused. Kyle sighed, returned to trying to eat his food. So, Shinji-chan, Princess Kenny said sweetly, and Shinji winced. How long have you been a pilot? Shinji looked down, face red. Only a little while, he said quietly, and Asuka snorted. Well, I've been a pilot most of my entire life. I've been trained for years to be an elite Evangelion pilot.
I guess a girl would need that kind of training since we don't make that kind of thing on the first fucking day.
Cartman grumbled through his lunch.
I barely even understood that.
And Asuka yelled something unintelligible in German before hitting him. While they were fighting over the remaining bento that she had knocked over, Kenny glanced sideways at Shinji. I'm sure you're a very good pilot, she said, and Shinji blushed again. Oh no, he said. I've only been at it a few times. I'm really lucky. I doubt that, Princess Kenny said, huskily, sliding towards him. Ooh. You looked very scared, Shinji-chan. Shinji's face lit up like a tomato, and he scrambled away immediately.
I'm not hungry. I gotta go now,
he said, tapping away down the corridor in quick converse. Princess Kenny frowned, then shrugged. And slid Shinji's bento beside her own, and focused on finishing both of them before either Cartman or Asuka could realize there was an extra. That evening, it was decided they would take turns in the bath, despite their Japanese roommates' assurances they didn't have to. Princess Kenny-sama, being royalty, was permitted to go first, quickly followed by Cartman, then Stan, and finally Kyle.
Incredible.
As Kyle was stepping into the Japanese bath, confused as to how it was operated, there was a skittering noise nearby, and he grabbed a discarded bra to cover himself quickly, only to scream like an infant when a small feathered creature rushed towards him. He stumbled back out of the bathroom and into the kitchen shrieking while Pen rushed past him, waddling on its webbed feet, which were inside a Converse, of course. His nethers hidden demurely by one of Masato's bras.
A penguin wearing damn Converse.
He could not hide the FF0000 color in his face when the entire house, including Masato, began laughing hysterically at him.
At his penis.
At his pingus.
At his penguin.
That's a scene from the anime, too.
I thought it was going to be Donald
I've
Duck
seen the
for a minute.
penguin.
I thought this was going to take a turn.
Kyle doesn't know how to use a Japanese bath. And he paid the price.
It's going to turn to fucking Joseph. Give me a real damn bandit.
Stan kicked his bag under his desk absently. The fabric of his uniform was heavy and itchy and unfamiliar, and Tokyo 3 was far too hot for a Colorado mountain boy. Need any help with your homework, new kid? I bet you can't even read it, a voice near him said. Stan looked up to see the bright beaming face of Kensuke. Oh right, no, I can read it just fine. My Japanese is pretty good, Stan said before frowning. Kyle probably needs help though. He doesn't speak a word of Japanese. It's kind of fucked up, but they put him in this class in the first place. In fact, Kyle was sitting in the very back of the room, as close to Ray as he could, eyes darting about nervously. He's trying to fuck Ray.
Oh, God.
Damn, I didn't take Kyle for a Ray guy.
You think he has to go with Asuka just because they're both redheads?
Maybe.
Wait, what guy are you?
I plead the fifth. I'm just kidding, Ray Banks. I mean, Asuka is objectively a better person because Rei is basically a doll with no emotion.
What about Misato?
Masato is the best, but that's a forbidden topic.
I don't know the lore. I'll take your word for it.
Rei is a lifeless doll with no emotion. Asuka is a fiery girl, but she's not as beautiful. But she's also got emotion. And Masato is the best of both worlds because she's beautiful and has emotion, but she's also an adult, so she doesn't count.
Are you not an adult?
Well, you don't have this argument with when you're a grown man anymore. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm just saying. I like Rei, but I know it's wrong.
Fine. They're cartoons. It's okay.
Once you make a decision, you're stuck with it for life. It's like your basketball team.
Who's your basketball team?
Toronto Raptors.
The Racers.
Utah Jazz.
In fact, Kyle was sitting in the very back of the room, as close to Rei as he could, eyes darting about nervously. Rei made no motion to speak to him, and Stan suspected that was why he was sitting near her. Kensuke grabbed an affirmation before trotting over to the pilot he felt he could get the most information out of. Cartman was still fighting with Asuka in the front of the room. Whatever they were yelling about, they were yelling in German, and Stan was glad he could not understand them. Cartman and Asuka yelling at each other in German. It's really funny. He was not interested in any of the people in this classroom, but for a moment in the world, his heart had ached for Wendy. But now it ached for another. One not here. Whoa!
Oh boy.
Was that in the story or was that you?
That was me saying whoa.
Oh, okay. He's gonna cheat on his girlfriend because it's a dream.
He likes the forbidden third girl.
Whoa.
The blaring of the city's horns was deafening.
Purple rage.
That's true, that happens in the show. It's like really... We need to get to the nerve headquarters, Rei stated, her voice as quiet and deadly determined as ever. We need to get to the nerve headquarters. Well, duh! Asuka cried. Come on, new kids! I know the way! It was a brief run there and a quick suit-up. Princess Kenny-sama, of course, was finished first. Oh, go ahead, Princess Kenny-sama said. I'll run the boot-up protocols on Unit 6. Just get dressed. Asuka, you're on point, Masato yelled, and Asuka cried out in affirmation. Rei, Unit 00 is still in cryo. Stand back up. Shinji, you and Asuka get out of here. The other boys and girl were not far behind, and just as Unit 2 and Unit 1 were sent flying by the two split angels of Israfel, Unit 06 and 4 pilots launched from the ground and landed in Tokyo 3 with an earth-shattering thud that crushed pavement and snapped miles of phone lines.
I can't wait for the paragraph describing what this looks like.
Fall back, Masato cried. We don't have enough information. We need to regroup. Kyle tensed. Fall back, but we just got up here. That's an order. Right, ma'am, Kyle stated, just as Stan lurched the robot forward. What the fuck are you doing, Stan? Cartman yelled at him, and the unit jittered uncertainly. If you don't help me, we'll be sitting ducks, Stan shrieked, pushing forward. Watch this, Masato. Kyle swore. I'm sorry, Masato, he yelled, cutting off the comm and his frenzied ordered, and her frenzied orders. He shoved his arms, and the giant arms triggered things that are there that were never really explained, ? What the fuck are those things anyways? The goddamn robot connects to their brains directly. What the fuck do the arm things even do other than look cool? Goddamn, I do not fucking know, but hey. That thing where he heaves his shoulders and they jerk around a bunch looks cool as hell. He does that. The robot jumped forward, clean and smooth, into Israfel, who whipped its crescent arms around and immediately sliced off Unit 6's left arm.
Well,
Princess Kenny-sama began to scream, and Cartman laughed. Ha, that was Kenny's limb. Serves you right, you poor fuck. You shouldn't be piloting a giant fucking robot anyways.
Jeez.
Princess Kenny continued to scream before doing the arm punch thing and slamming Unit 6's head into the left S2 core of Israfel's left half.
The arm punch thing.
The three boys were working hard to coordinate the remaining 7 arms into grabbing the other S2 core. However, the first core had not yet fractured. Princess Kenny-sama was still screaming, tears streaming wet from her eyes. Breathed in, and with the scream, there was a moment of silence. Then suddenly, the silence was gone as a song burst from her, filled with her pain, and filled with all the desire to save humanity. The song was untranscribable, unimaginable, and for a moment, Mysterion sat in the cockpit, saving a city he had not even belonged to. There was a crack in the core, and both Israfels became one. The prog knife in the arm controlled by Cartman slammed into the S2 core, and the whole creature burst. The song faded when Princess Kenny-sama passed out, and the boys, an unconscious girl, waited for Nerve to come and retrieve them. Last
Incredible.
chapter. Cartman kicked his bag under his seat absent-mindedly.
That's what Stan did in the last chapter.
Hey, where's the blonde girl? Asuka asked, leaning on her hand across her desk towards him. Cartman sighed in frustration.
Kenny's in the hospital with a red-eyed bitch.
He picked at the glue under his desk in annoyance, and Asuka huffed.
Glue. And Oscar huffed the glue.
What's wrong? What, with Wonder Girl? She didn't even do anything.
Yeah, she was kind of a wuss,
Cartman agreed, and he didn't miss Asuka's eyes light up. Hey, Cartman-kun, can I call you Eric? Asuka said suddenly, and Cartman frowned.
What? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Asuka smiled. It was that night that Kyle was washing up when he saw the penguin again. Pen was rummaging around in the laundry basket, but he had fallen in and become stuck. Kyle quickly strode over and plucked him from the basket. Hey, whoa, little dude, it's okay, hold still, he said, setting Pen down on the ground. Pen shook himself off before looking up at Kyle. It was the first time Kyle had actually looked at the penguin in the eyes, and it had actually looked like the penguin had... Okay, that looped around the same sentence. It was an extraordinary experience. He felt himself unable to pull away from those glittering blackbird eyes, and Pen was the first to do so. But only after he placed one clawed flipper on Kyle's knee, the moment was over, just as quickly as it had begun, and Pen was out the door, leaving Kyle alone with his thoughts. And every one of those nights, those thoughts were of Pen. Okay, that's beyond the Forbidden Girl.
I just fucking imagined it as fucking Pangu.
Yeah, close enough.
Fucking... what are they called? The shoes.
Converse.
Fucking Converse.
Yes,
Pangu
we-
Converse. Little clay Converse.
He's got lean.
Princess Kenny-sama woke up in the hospital bed with a start. Huh? Where am I? She asked, looking around. Her eyes fell on Shinji beside her, equipped with a warm soda.
Poor guy.
Hey, you're up, he said brightly, and Princess Kenny blinked. Yeah, I am. What are you doing here? She asked, curiously, and Shinji blushed.
Oh, no reason. I'm just here so you wouldn't be alone. When you woke up, that was your first battle, after all.
Shinji paused, looking at his shoes.
You were amazing. I can't believe you lost your arm and kept going.
Princess Kenny-sama laughed, partially, and Shinji's shyness and partially at the irony. It's not the first arm I've lost. It wouldn't be worried about me if I were you. Shinji kept looking at his shoes, but he slid the soda onto the side table where it was in arm's reach of Princess Kenny-sama. But I do worry, he said quietly. Princess Kenny-sama was silent, but a delicate pink tint crept across her cheeks as she opened the soda with a slow hiss. They
Shame
were
you
all...
already opened that LaCroix.
Yeah.
Looking great Foley.
They were all sitting in the plugs again for a regular day's sync test. The comm on Princess Kenny-sama's right hand side buzzed, and Cartman's voice filled the cockpit.
Hey, Kenny,
He sneered, and Princess Kenny-sama frowned. You will refer to me by my title, cur, she hissed, and Cartman snickered.
Yeah, right. Princess Fag-sama, guess what?
Princess Kenny-sama hit the comm, shutting it off. It flared back to life.
Steven's jaw dropped. He didn't skip a beat.
Okay, fine. Jesus Christ, Princess Kenny fucking Sama, alright? Princess Kenny?
Princess Kenny smiled, pleased.
Guess what?
Cartman continued, and Princess Kenny-sama sighed. What, Eric?
I'm gonna beat you and Call at the sync test today. Then I'll be captain. My first order of business is that you stop wearing dresses. Okay, Princess Kenny-sama?
Damn.
Princess Kenny-sama frowned before slamming her fist down on the comm lock button. The cockpit was filled with silence as she focused as intently as possible. Good work, everyone, Masato said to the group of children before her. Kyle-kun, you still got the high sync ratio, except for Shinji-kun. You've still got the high sync ratio, except for Shinji-kun. Okay. Shinji perked up brightly.
Princess Kenny-sama, you really did well. You went up by 50 points today. Whatever you did, keep doing it.
Princess Kenny-sama held her chin proudly. She turned to Cartman.
Eric-sama, you're still dead last. You need to work harder.
Cartman's face flushed angrily as Asuka sneered proudly at him. Stan waited patiently, but she didn't turn to him.
And me, Masato-san?
He said finally. Masato smiled.
Right. Could everybody else leave?
There were a lot of giggling and sneering, but the room emptied.
Stan-san, nope, Stan-chan,
she said, putting a hand on his shoulder.
Uh-oh.
You haven't moved at all. We've done several sync tests so far. You should have improved at least a little bit. Stan's face flushed and his eyes went downwards, but Masato picked his chin up to look at him intently.
Stan-chan, I know you can do so much better. You could be the best pilot here, if only you tried.
Stan gulped, his heart aflutter.
I'll try, Masato-san, Chan.
She smiled at him.
Good. Now go on with your friends. You have homework.
Stan tripped over himself twice, trying to get out of the room while Masato watched pleasantly. The end.
Wow.
That was hard to read.
I rate that story 4 angels out of 5.
Let's see, I rate that Asuka and Cartman being fucking annoyed.
I rate that 2 platinum white Gucci stompers fitted for penguins.
Incredible.
2 newts out of 2.
Hey, Hopper. Wanna go pilot the mech again?
Come on.
If you don't, I have to. Come on, Topper.
Top. The North Pole?
The Winter Warlock is an angel.
The angel. Good idea.
He just needs a toy. And he gets stabbed through the eye. Winter Warlock shoots an ice sickle through his brain. Mickey Rooney actually screams.
They have to actually stab him in the eye to get the proper. Someone at the someone behind the booth throws a fucking butter knife at him.
He's coming from behind a table.
What's the name of that production company again?
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass.
They're gonna send actual thousands of hate mail letters to Rankin Bass to send them into an emotionally unstable state to record it.
Not to Rankin Bass, to Mickey Rooney.
No, they send them to the creators. That's how the end of Evangelion got made into a movie.
You're gonna hire fucking Mickey Rooney in his advanced stage to
They're
make
gonna-
him blind.
They're gonna send them thousands of hate mail letters saying we didn't like the end of the movie, make it again, and then have to make another ending movie.
The end of Santa Claus is coming to town.
They remake the last 30 minutes of the end of Santa Claus coming to town into a full-length feature.
It makes sense. That's where he's in the prison. You gotta get some in-depth prison stuff and the magic corn and all that.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
All I have left is this magic corn. I don't know what it does.
This is so fucked up.
It's magic, I think.
All I can do is make reindeer fly.
That's wildly specific, but okay.
Ah, yes. The new production. Santa Claus loses his depth perception.
Want to know what my question was originally?
Oh, what was it?
It was, what do you think happens when you take gas station dick pills?
That would have been that's a good question.
I feel like it doesn't have much running power, but just something I gotta know.
If anything, it probably fucking sterilizes you.
I think it's... I mean, hey, that gets the job done, I guess. I think it's interesting how in this country's medicine system they can advertise pills to you on television and YouTube.
Fair enough.
And to a bigger extent, it's interesting that they can just sell dick pills at the gas station.
And energy pills and shit like that. And
Yeah.
they look so janky. They're just like a million different types of pills. You have the capsules, you got the tablets, and they're all in the same pack.
Just a sack of random pills. Just take them all.
It's just a bunch of like 0.3.
Are you talking about gas station pills?
Yeah.
I just heard the sack of random assortment of pills, and I knew exactly what you were talking about.
It's just like 0.3 milligrams of Adderall, ibuprofen, fucking Tylenol.
Yeah, I was saying my original question for today was going to be, what do you think happens when you take gas station dick pills?
Dick pills. Steven, you like your dick?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah. Alright.
Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks.
Are you?
No,
Nice.
Nice.
I'm not going to return the question.
Nice.
Let's see. Well, I got mine pulled up if you want.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Hit us with the epic one. It better not be the one I picked.
We'll see.
I have a backup for that very reason, because I know you.
Caillou was in his bedroom looking very bored and tired after a very long day of boring ass school.
His boring ass school.
This is like the most recent one.
Yeah. It is July 14th.
My
Holy
birthday.
Shit.
Yeah.
What a good present.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you write this for your birthday?
For my own birthday?
Yeah.
Scrambling to finish it before we showed up.
Not to mention that he was exhausted after being yelled at nonstop by his own father, Boris.
Calls his father by his first name.
That's how you know he's pissed.
I didn't even know he had a name. I thought he was just dead.
I didn't even know he had a dad.
I didn't know you knew my parents.
I'm bored and tired, Caillou said to himself monotonously. I'm bored and tired, Caillou said to himself monotonously. And worst of all, I've got boring school tomorrow. I wish I didn't have to go to school.
Sounds like Tomoko.
Yeah, you're right.
It's you guys' fault I'm not popular. Also, I'm Caillou.
That is a bratty mindset he would have.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, the little light bulb on the top of his bald head lit up, signaling an idea. Wait a minute, I don't have to go to school tomorrow, Caillou gasped to himself. And I might just have the idea.
Okay.
Wait a second, I cannot go to school.
I can tell my parents to fuck off.
Big brain, 5-year-old moment.
Big bald brain. Smooth. After looking back and forth to see no one watching him, Caillou dug underneath his bed and pulled out a huge bazooka. He smiled evilly as he opened up his bedroom window, hoping to get his target right away.
The school?
Sure, he didn't see the school, but Caillou knew what direction the school was. Smile, you son of a, was all the Caillou said, when all of a sudden he pulled the trigger and sent the missile flying right out of the house and into the sky. Caillou looked up and waited with anticipation, hoping the missile would fall down sooner or later. Finally, after a few minutes of waiting, the missile had come down from the sky. All of a sudden, boom! An explosion was heard from far away, making Caillou cackle evilly in victory. He had finally blown up his school, now making Caillou free from ever having to go to school again.
At last.
He monotonously laughed. I did it. I finally won. I won't have to go to school anymore. Now they'll have to take me to Chuck E. Cheese instead of boring school tomorrow.
Ah, the alternative.
Hell yeah. For the first time in my life, I am victorious. The devious 4-year-old continued to celebrate his victory until he started to get sleepy. He then put on his dark blue Buzz Lightyear pajamas and started napping away with no worries at all.
Bald Buzz Lightyear ass.
Napping away.
The next morning, Boris, Caillou's dad, was sitting at the kitchen table drinking a cup of coffee, hopefully trying to get his mind off of how bratty his son, Caillou, had been lately.
Bradley's kind of an understatement now.
They don't know yet.
This coffee gets even tastier every time I drink it, Boris said to the coffee. As he continued to drink the morning away, the door knocked from the living room, alerting a very close-eared Boris. I wonder who that could be, Boris asked as he put down his cup of coffee and headed for the living room door.
It's the police.
Once he got there, he placed his hand on the door handle and turned it, opening it all the way to see a mysterious stranger standing right next to his door.
Oh no, that could be anybody.
The stranger had dirty blonde hair, a pair of black and blue sunglasses, a blue t-shirt, tan pants, and black Converse, and had his arms crossed over his chest. Can I help you? Boris asked. Yes, I'm sorry for disturbing you, sir, but my name is PC Principal, the principal of South Park Elementary, PC Principal explained. South Park Elementary, huh? Never heard of that, Boris replied. It's okay, I'm not here to explain the whole thing to you, PC Principal shook his head. For those of you not caught up on the South Park lore, PC Principal is essentially this PC coach that eventually became their principal, and his whole gimmick is that he's super correct, while at the same time really grating and fucking manly. Let's see. It's okay, I'm not here to explain the whole thing to you, PC Principal shook his head. However, I am here because I want to show you this. Just to explain to Boris very clearly, PC Principal brought out what seemed to be a mini rocket of sorts. Is that a missile? Boris said to the blonde man out of confusion. Yeah, apparently, this missile I have here blew up my school, and now...
How does he have it?
And now, my students can't go there anymore, PC Principal sighed, thinking of his students' future. So you came over to my house just to show me that, Boris gasped? Yes, but someone's name and street seems to be attached to this little rocket here. PC Principal said, a stern tone in his voice. Do you know anyone who goes by the name Caillou?
What a fucking idiot!
Suddenly, the realization hit Boris like a rock. I would say so! He said your kid's name!
Your kid launched a missile attack.
Your kid has a missile!
I'd be like, who launched a missile in my child's name?
He couldn't believe that Caillou had intentionally blown up a school that he didn't know he destroyed, and he was gonna somehow Boris, I'm sorry, they have it to where they use pronouns, but then in parentheses they have the names referring to the characters because they were too lazy to just put the names of the characters.
That's fine.
Whatever. Somehow, Boris' temper was growing, his hands were forming into fists, and his teeth were now gritting in pure enragement. With a deep breath, Boris said the only thing that ever escaped his lips. Caillou! Get your shiny, bald motherfucker ass downstairs right now! With that yell of his being very deadly around Caillou's ears, Caillou went downstairs, only to find a very pissed off Boris and PC Principal standing before him.
Oh no.
Fucking Boris Baldy's basic whip and a ruler in his hand. I'm gonna beat your fucking ass, Caillou. Get over here.
Yes, Daddy, Caillou gulped. Caillou! Why in the is there a stranger on my doorstep with a rocket that has your name on it? Boris asked with a scowl on his face.
Oh, I don't know, Dad.
Bulging his eyes in shock, Caillou tried to explain to both his dad and the principal what happened. You see, I And then, all of a sudden, the camera violently, while turning red, forcing Boris to unleash his angry verbal onslaught around his son. Boris yelled, Caillou, how dare you blow up South Park Elementary, you stupid bastard! I blew up South Park Elementary, Caillou gasped, but I thought I blew up my school so I wouldn't have to go. Well, you thought wrong! That's it! Today is punishment for you!
Holy shit. He's giving it to him. Boris, why?
Caillou was now standing outside the patio as Boris and PC Principal stood beside him, anger still on their faces. Punishment number 1. You get beat up by my students for destroying their school. PC Principal.
He's 4!
PC Principal was compliant in this child's meeting?
Yes.
The mischievous 4-year-old looked up in complete horror as he saw Eric Cartman, Kyle Bravolsky, Stan Marsh.
Is he still wearing his Buzz Lightyear jammies?
I'm assuming so.
Standing in the fucking snow.
Kenny McCormick, Butterscotch, Wendy Testaberger, Craig Tucker, Tweak, Token Black, Jimmy Valmer, Clyde Donovan, Bebe Stevens, Kevin Stoley, Scott Malkinson, and Bradley Biggle form a line in front of the now scared little brat. Before Caillou could at least say anything, Caillou took out a baseball bat and started beating the ever-loving shit out of Caillou. No! Caillou hollered monotonously as Cartman continued to beat him down with his yellow-gloved hands. This lineup continued for a good while, leaving Caillou's face bloodied, battered, and bruised.
Boris and PC Principal just standing over there with their arms crossed.
Keep in mind, this is his first punishment.
You're right.
A bruised-up Caillou is now standing between PC Principal and his own father, watching the rest of PC Principal's students steal everything from Caillou's room, such as his computer, books, entire bed, basketball, and his Xbox One. Punishment number 2. You let all of PC Principal's students have your stuff, Boris told his son, who is now drenched in tears. No! Caillou blankly repeated. Shut up! Boris shouted with a scowl on his face. But it's not fair, Caillou pouted. What will I have now? Then, using Go Animate logic, Boris pointed his finger to have a big cardboard box appear beside it. You will be living in this box from now on, Boris replied. But I want my stuff back, Caillou whined. I said shut up, Boris said, silencing the bald brat.
Is it quiet time?
It's 10:30.
After Stan, Kyle, Cartman, Kenny, and the rest of the students of South Park left Caillou's bedroom with Caillou's stuff in hand, Caillou began to tear up even more. But that wasn't the end of things. It wasn't long before Boris had gone to the best part. he grounded him. And now, it's time for punishment number 3, Boris added. You are grounded until South Park The Fractured But Whole comes out on PlayStation 2, which means no TV, no cartoons, no baby shows, no Dora and Friends Into the City, no computer, no video games, no internet, no fast food, no school, no Chuck E. Cheese, and no source of fun whatsoever. You will also be forced to wear nappies as well, and you will continue to wear them until further notice. Now go to your cardboard box and never, ever come out.
Oh shit.
He
Caillou's
doesn't have to
never
go to
gonna-
school. Jesus Christ.
Caillou cried as he entered his cardboard box. Tears pulling in his eyes. Boris had finally thought of ending Caillou's suffering, but he felt like something was missing. So while Caillou was crying like a little baby bitch, Boris grabbed Caillou's rocket launcher under the bed and pointed it right to the window. And just in case you think about going to Chuck E. Cheese while you're grounded,
Oh no.
well, I've got a little message for you. Boris silenced his son and forced him to watch his own father launch the missile right through the window. The missile shot right above the sky. A few minutes later, before finally coming down on Chuck E. Cheese, destroying it to smithereens, and destroying what was part of Caillou's childhood. Shriveled up in tears, Caillou looked at his father in shock as Boris smirked evilly. Suck on that, son, the brown-haired man said while flipping his son off and leaving.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately for Caillou, South Park, The Fractured But Whole, did not come on PlayStation 2 at all, and instead came out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. After only 100 years of being stuck inside the cardboard box, Caillou had died. Although that didn't matter much to Boris and Doris, Caillou's mom, who were still pampering Caillou's baby sister, Rosie, as if she was now their favorite child. To be honest, nobody ever gave a flying fuck about Caillou because the world was as much safer without him, and it was gonna stay that way until the end of time. The end.
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, he did launch a missile at a school.
They made children beat him up.
That was just like the extreme punishment of Caillou.
Featuring South Park.
With PC principle.
God.
Oh my god.
I rate that story a fully cleared out bedroom.
I rate that story a never-ending hell for Caillou. One less Chuck E. Cheese.
I rate that story the sound it makes when you slap a person who's bald in the back of the head.
That's a pretty good sound.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. That was intense.
That was.
Alright, here's the one I found. It's great, I'm sure. Counselor Mackey entered Mr. Garrison's classroom to discuss the City Country Project. Okay, class, I need your full attention, okay? The Western states have implemented the City Country Project. This project is a student exchange program. Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Eric I have talked to all your parents and you'll be going to California. Normally it's a volunteer program, but the 4 of you are not involved in any extracurricular activities. Stan stood up and said, "Oh great, you volunteered us just like last year when you volunteered us to go to that rainforest in South America." Kyle replied, "Stan has already jacked off enough in California." Stan turned to Kyle and yelled, "Shut up, Kyle, or I'll bust your skull!"
Jesus.
Counselor Mackey responded, "Now look, you're all going to behave and stop threatening to kill each other. That jack-off joke was not appropriate in the classroom. Furthermore, if you 4 think you're getting out of going to California, it'll be over my dead body." Kyle said, "Speaking of dead bodies, have you read that there's a lethal drug shortage, so they have had problems arranging lethal injections for convicted murderers?" Cartman said, "Why don't they just bring back the electric chair?" Mr. Mackey said, "Boys," but was ignored, and Kyle said, "Well, if you were sentenced to death for murder, Cartman, you'd break the electric chair because you're so fat." Cartman said, "Well, how about the gas chamber, Kyle? It sure worked when it came time to get rid of those pesky Jews back in Germany." Kyle punched Cartman, and then Kenny said, "I'm David drinking really drunk, and he said anything heavy and death also day. Anything else?" The whole class laughed, and Mr. Mackey pounded Mr. Garrison's desk and said, "Get quiet and pay attention!" They all get quiet, and Counselor Mackey turns his back to write on the chalkboard. Cartman says, "Shh, I'm going to sneak out." Cartman quietly snuck out the door. Counselor Mackey turns around and says, "The reason we have the City Country Project is because we want city kids and kids who live in the country mountain towns like South Park to get to know each other. Hey, wait, where's Eric Cartman?" Kyle answered, "He's gone." Mr. Garrison said, Mr. Garrison said, I was watching you right on the board, Mr. Mackey, so I didn't see him sneak out. Well, wherever he is, I'll give him detention for sneaking out of class." All of a sudden, the intercom speaker comes on. Attention, Mr. Mackey. I know you sit down when you go to the bathroom because you're nothing but a sissy faggot. I bet you'll love to suck big dicks at gay bars." Every classroom was full of laughter. Counselor Mackey was pissed, and the next day Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman had to get on a school bus and go to California. They stopped in Nevada at 8:30 p.m. and checked into a motel, which was funded by the school. Stan and Kenny spent the night in one room. Kyle and Cartman spent the night in a different room. The next day, Mr. Mackey returned to Mr. Garrison's class to talk more about the City Country Project. He asked if anyone else wanted to volunteer. Nobody wanted to volunteer. All of a sudden, the intercom speaker is heard, and Mr. Garrison spoke. "Oh, Mr. Mackey, you know I'm queer and I'd love to lick your ass all night long. Oh, Mr. Mackey, when I think of you, I just want to cum in my fucking pants." Mr. Mackey was still in Mr. Garrison's class and did not notice that Mr. Garrison had snuck out. Mr. Mackey got very pissed and threw Mr. Garrison's chair out the window. Every student in South Park Elementary School laughed so hard. "God damn it!" exclaimed Mr. Mackey. Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman arrive at this large school. When they enter at 3 p.m., they see a group of kids standing outside the school. Phil DeVille said, "Hey, it's the State Exchange kids." Chucky said, "I wonder if they'll think I'm a nerd or a troublemaker."
Oh, no.
Phil stated, "Not off the bat, but in a few days they'll know you're an accident-prone hazard on 2 legs. Chucky turned his head and said sarcastically, "Thanks, Phil." Stan saw a boy with spiked purple hair holding a sign that said, "Welcome South Park students." After the 4 South Park students introduced themselves, Tommy and his friends all introduced themselves. Lil asked, "Hey, where's Angelica?" Kimmy answered, "Good question." Angelica came around the corner and said, "I'm right here, goddammit." She then walked up beside Kimmy and
Angelica
said,
swore.
"She's cool." She walked up beside Kimmy and said, "So these are the hick dweebs." Chucky said, You call everybody dweeb even if you don't even know them.
Chucky sounds like a dweeb.
Tommy turned to Angelica and asked, "Do you think you could be nice to them? I know for you being nice is harder than algebra." Dill said, "I think I can get along with them. Eventually, if they're into inventing new things as well as aliens, then that will be delightful."
Dill is also a dweeb.
Kyle said, "Cartman was abducted by aliens and they sodomized him." Cartman yelled, "God damn it, you fucking Jew bastard!" Tommy said, "Oh my, we have an anti-Semite among us."
Poor Tommy.
Oh my.
Dill said, "If you're a Nazi, where are your swastika tattoos?" Stan said, "Maybe the aliens should have given him a swastika tattoo."
Jesus.
Angelica said, "Well, it sure sucks to be you, fat boy." Cartman yelled, "Kiss my ass, Princess Angelica." Angelica yelled, "I'm a princess and you're a fat loser."
Oh, I thought I was gonna go somewhere.
Angelica then grabbed Cartman's book bag and pulled a binder out of it. Cartman said, "Give that back, you bitch." Angelica said, "Oh, you're going to be a little bitch right now." Angelica yanked Cartman's pants down, and Cartman struggled to fight back, but he was overpowered, and then Angelica shoved the binder up his ass.
Holy crap.
Stan, Kyle, and Kenny laughed their asses off.
Angelica's wild. Holy shit.
A whole binder.
I thought that as soon as anti-Semitism was brought up, Angelica was gonna back down, but she just went harder.
Angelica's like 3 feet taller than him.
That's what I was thinking.
That binder's like as big as him.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're Jewish.
Yeah.
Stan, Kyle,
I forgot about that too.
Stan, Kyle, and Kenny laughed their asses off. Angelica's classmates and her 2 cousins were in shock. Chapter 2. Stan said, "Shit, Cartman, Angelica's taller than my girlfriend Wendy, and Wendy whooped your ass big time." Kyle commented, "Looks like you'll be Angelica's bitch through the whole trip, and I look forward to that." Cartman shouted, "Fuck you, Kyle!" Dill chimed in and said, "Man, the language these visitors use. Oh, we'd be grounded for life." Tommy replied to Dill, "No fucking shit, we'd be fucking grounded for life."
Less swearing in this episode.
I want Tara Strong to say that line.
No fucking shit. Lil said to Angelica, "I can't believe you just did that." Phil replied, "I hope you never abuse Tommy and Dill that way." Tommy and Dill both gulp at the same time. Kyle had to say, "Angelica sure is quite scary when she's pissed off, but I'll tell you one thing, my mom is scarier." Dill asked if she was scarier than aliens giving someone an anal probe, and if so, he said he didn't want to meet her. Kyle answered, "Cartman thinks so." Everyone laughed, and Cartman yelled, "Shut the fuck up!" Lil commented, "You all love cussing." Phil laughed and asked if they love farting.
Oh my god.
Stan answered, "Fat boy does it all the time." Kyle cuts one and Kenny asked, "Kyle, did you just shit your pants?" Kyle answered, "No, but Cartman did when he went ziplining." Lil asked,
Okay.
"Did he seriously shit his pants?" Cartman yelled, "No!" Stan, Kyle, and Kenny yelled, "Yes!" Cartman groaned.
Just all the rugrats on his own hometown are just fucking with him now.
Of course, they finally got the one up on him. All of a sudden, the school hall monitor came around and said, "Lil, I'm giving you a referral to the principal for cussing. How on earth could you even consider cussing on school property and in front of the exchange students?" Lil answered, "Everyone else cussed." The hall monitor said, "Well, I didn't hear him." Lil said, "It's after school anyhow." The hall monitor said she didn't care if it was after school and told Lil she'd be getting a referral to the principal.
Got her.
Lil got pissed and groaned and walked off. Lil arrived home 30 minutes after Phil. Phil said to Lil when she got home, Oh, Lil, you ran off before the 4 visitors shared a hilarious story about how they got sent to the principal's office for cussing out loud in class. They said words like cockmaster and eat penguin shit. Betty DeVille and her husband Howard entered the living room, and they both made it clear that they were not happy about the cussing that took place on school property.
Daddy's gonna beat their asses.
Phil told them, "Hey, look out the window and you'll see Angelica has the fat visitor on a dog leash, and I think that's a lot worse than cussing on school property." Betty was shocked at what she saw, and Howard fainted. Chapter 3. Angelica's mom, Charlotte, rushed out to stop the ongoing madness. "Angelica!" she shouted. Dee Dee Pickles rushed out to assist Charlotte. Cartman said he was one of the city country exchange students. Angelica said, "He was rude to me, so I shoved his binder up his ass and I used this dog leash I found in the school's lost and found to tame him." Charlotte ordered Angelica to take the dog leash off immediately and said, "Furthermore, you're grounded for a month. What you did to this boy was criminal." Cartman made his way back to the motel. Upon his arrival at the motel, he commented to the guys, "Now I know what Butters goes through every night." Stan shot back, "Dude, that's not cool. You shouldn't make fun of Butters like that." Kyle chimed in, "Yeah, fat boy." Kenny commented, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny all burst into laughter. Tommy and Dill met up with Phil and Lil. Chucky and Kimmy got cell phone calls, as did Susie, and they met up with the 2 groups of siblings. Tommy posed the question, "What do you think of the new kids from South Park, Colorado?" Dill answered, "They're not as rednecks as I thought they'd be." Susie answered, "I've yet to meet them." Chucky answered, "They're not as scary as I thought they'd be." Kimmy answered, I'm sure they enjoy video games, music, and making fun of my brother Chucky as much as anyone." Chucky yelled, "Hey!" And Phil said, "Hey Chucky, you and Kenny have something in common. Kenny told me he's an accident magnet, though I've yet to see proof. But hey, if he's telling the truth, you both should hit it off." Everybody but Chucky laughed. Phil went on to say, "I think these new kids are fucking hilarious." Lil replied to Phil, "Well, I'm not happy that I got singled out for cussing and they got away with a ton more." Phil turned to look at Lil and he said, "If not for that crazy shit Angelica pulled, Mom and Dad would still be yelling at you." Lil's cell phone rang. Lil said out loud, "It's Mom." Lil answered her cell phone. "Hello, Mom?" And Betty said, "Lil, we need to talk and I need you home now." Lil said, "All right," and hung up her phone. Phil said, "What is it?" Lil said, "I just might be getting my ass grounded because of that motherfucking school hall monitor." Tommy says, "Before you go, Lil, I just want to say I think these exchange students are fucking awesome. It's hilarious that they said eat penguin shit in their classroom." Everybody laughed, but Susie flipped out and said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding." Back at the motel, Kyle's cell phone rang. Kyle said, "Hello, Butters." Butters informed Kyle that Mr. Mackey tried to push the city country exchange program, but nobody voluntarily signed up for it. Kyle was not surprised at all about that. Butters went on to say that Mr. Garrison had to submit a detention as if he was a student in order to keep his job as a teacher. Kyle said, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why would Mr. Garrison have to do that?" Butters answered, "Mr. Garrison got on the intercom at school and made sexual remarks to Mr. Mackey."
Oh no.
Kyle said, "No fucking way." Butters shot back, "Well, if you don't believe me, just think of one simple fact. It's Mr. Garrison I'm talking about." Kyle replied, "Oh, well, that does make it more believable." After Kyle got off the phone, he said, "You guys are never going to believe this." Back at Lil's house, Lil just walked through the door and said, "Well, Dad fainted really hard like he always does." Betty said, We need to talk about this recent run-in with the hall monitor. Lil said, damn it.
Lil's going deep.
This is such an intense situation for Lil.
Jesus Christ. The author really is bullying Lil.
Chapter 4. The week winded down. The kids from South Park said they were overall very happy and to have visited even though they had no choice. Stan commented, I think you're all okay. My past 2 trips to California sucked, but you guys are okay. Even Chucky, whom we all considered weird, is cool to hang out with.
We all consider weird.
Poor Chucky.
Kyle commented, I've learned something today. I've learned that even if you're forced to take a trip, well, it doesn't have to be bad. Like Stan said, you all are okay. Kenny commented, I enjoyed my food. Vergil referred to drunk, so this is a very crucial. Even though I don't take classes with you.
I don't know if that much muffling is better or worse.
Oh, trust me, it's better. Cartman commented, well, I didn't like Angelica, but the rest of you are cool. All of a sudden, a car radio began playing Trapped by Bruce Springsteen. The kids from South Park agreed they could relate to that song. Tommy and Dill go over to Stan. Tommy said, Stan, you're a true leader. I'm considered a leader amongst my group of friends here. No doubt you'll live long as an admired peer group leader. Dill added, plus you're popular because your mom has a great rack. Tommy snapped at Dill, and Dill said, well, Kenny told me that was the case. Kyle yelled, hey, guys! When they ran over to Kyle to see what was going on, Kyle showed them a video on a cell phone. It showed Mr. Garrison sitting in detention. Mr. Mackey was chewing him out. Now, I'm very disappointed in you. School is a time for learning and not a time for tomfoolery. You are a teacher, and you should set an example. You should not be on the intercom talking about my butt cheeks, okay? All the kids started laughing. Tommy said, hey, you weren't kidding when you said crazy stuff happens at your school. And the kids laugh happily ever after. The end.
Yay. I rate that story. Angelica just fucking Cartman shit with a binder. Out of 10.
I rate that story to the full extent of the hall monitor's law.
I rate that story an hour-long conversation that Lil's mom had with her about cussing. Out of 10.
Where she made her read every cuss word off a list in front of her.
And punished her for it.
If you like cussing so much, why don't you read these? Mom, I'll get canceled.
I'll record it and post it on Twitter. You'll definitely get canceled.
No! So, you have a special announcement to make.
Oh yeah. On next week's episode, or 2 weeks from now's episode, we'll be having a special guest, Attack of the Hank. He's a YouTuber who we like very much, and he wants to read some King of the Hill stories appropriately.
Oh yeah.
Ironically, our last King of the Hill episode also had a guest, but regardless, yeah, he's going to be on next episode, and he'll be reading with us too, which is cool.
He does a lot of great King of the Hill YouTube poop, so if that's your cup of tea, definitely check him out.
Yeah, he's one of the legends, so
Oh yeah.
if you're a fan of that sort of thing. So, yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to have a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Remember, you can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music.
Apple Podcasts is
Apple
not yet up
Podcast,
yet at the time of
not
this
yet.
recording, but
Other podcasting platforms.
yeah, our full link set is available on our Twitter if you go to @CrossingCast on Twitter.
@CrossingCast on Twitter.com.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Download this as a torrent and play it over your school intercom.
Also available on Pirate Bay.
It's free.
As a torrent.
I guess everything has to have a torrent.
Go to DuckDuckGo on your school computer and look up YouTube proxies.
That's big braining.
DuckDuckGo. And Turtle Crab.
I doubt that Proxy is still alive.
Oh,
these days.
absolutely not. God, the school is crazy. We had a full podcast to finish stories. That never happens.
That's true.
That's wowing me right now.
I know, right? Goddamn.
Y'all just picked reasonable time frames.
Well, it's not even like that. A lot of times they just aren't finished, so you get left with a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had 3 complete start to finish stories. That's got to be like a record.
Power of South Park.
The power of South Park. Alright, we'll be back next time. Episode 64, the Not Nintendo 64 special.
Featuring Attack of the Hank. On
Featuring
YouTube.
Vault Boy 64. AKA Vault Mario, AKA Rich Alvarez. Not really, but I wish.
One
Not
day,
really.
we'll do a Mario episode with Richie, I'm sure.
He'd love to come on. His fans are clamoring for collabs.
Have we done a Mario episode?
I don't think-
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay.
I guess he can be on Mario Part 2.
Luigi.
Luigi episode. You can read a fan fiction that I write about him.
Yeah, what's it gonna be about?
We'll see, and he ain't gonna like it very
You
much.
already wrote fan fictions about him.
Multiple times.
Not about him, they just have him in it.
That's true. You wrote more about Super Cody than you wrote about Rich Alvarez.
It's true, it's true.
Look up the Super Cody Show. Look up Attack of the Hank on YouTube.
For real, we'll definitely do that. Okay.
Good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
guys.